It is time to build this mBot Mega for the first time. So the instructions say to start with the motor drivers. I really like how they've done this. They've got it color coded so you can make sure you've got it in the right way. There's no way you can put it in the wrong way. You do have to still make sure you line up all the pins, but that's pretty easy to do. Yellow to yellow, red to red. We'll get those motor drivers put in. And it shows installing the Bluetooth module, but it looks like that's already there, so we won't worry about that. Next, we have to mount it to the shell. We'll grab that. And it makes note that you have to use the spacers because otherwise it will short circuit the board. So we'll get out some spacers. And I like how they've kind of put some little markings on the holes so that you know what goes in each hole. Make sure you don't get it in the wrong hole. Next are the proximity sensors, which are easy to find. They are the ones with the clear and the black bulb kind of hanging off the end of them. And it gets put right on this one. These holes are not marked, it looks like. And let's just look over here. It looks like they're kind of making them hang off the side. Let's just make sure we're right on that. Yep, those look like they hang off the side, so we'll go ahead and put those on. For this one, you're going to want the silver screws and not the black ones. And then you got to put a nut on the back side. Although I did not do this the first time around, I highly recommend tightening all the nuts with the wrench so that they do not come loose. And we'll use the other side of the screwdriver for this one. And we do the other side. Same way. There we go. Okay, now we're going to mount the RGB LEDs. And it looks like we actually don't need the spacer in here. We're going to come up from the bottom with these screws. And this one actually hangs to the center. And then we put the nut on. Start it on there. And then we'll tighten it with the screwdriver. It's kind of nice that there's this little gap here to be able to slide the screwdriver down in there. those two on. Next is the impact switches, which it looks like those kind of go underneath of here. Again, the screws are going to come up through the bottom. Okay. I suppose if we want to tighten that more, we can come straight through the hole from the top and just tighten that a little bit. Make sure it's tight on there. Straighten it out. And get the other side. Okay, so there's that. I'll straighten that a little bit. There we go. And this, looks like I don't have that one very tight there. Of course, if we need to, we could always use a wrench to hold those two, but I think we're okay. Next, we are going to mount the DC motors onto this motor bracket. Okay, so looks like, oh, that's very nice. You see these raised portions here, they can fit right into there, into the holes. Makes it nice fit there. And we'll get the right screws out. Maybe should have done that first. There we go. That goes straight through there. And we put a nut on the other end. Make sure that's nice and tight. Hold the nut. There we go. And put a second one in. You'll notice on these, the screw kind of goes in the little top part here, where it actually lines up with one of the holes. So you can push that through. Okay, so there's one. Yes, I definitely like how those fit into the metal. You can make sure you're putting them in the right spot. And so these screws go into the part that's furthest away from the center here. It's kind of the outer part of that hole. Okay, so we've got the motors on now. Now we get to put the wheels on. I just want to take a moment to talk about the Mecanum wheels and how they should be put on the car. In the manual, it says right here, the left goes in the front when you've got this in the front too, and the right one goes in the back. So we've got left and right. Then on the other side, it's actually the opposite. You've got your left in the back and your right in the front. So when you get done, you'll notice that these kind of point towards the center when it's upside down, and these go towards the center in the back too. So just wanted to make you aware of that. I actually didn't really keep an eye on that the first time I put it together, and so in the end it didn't go the direction it was supposed to go and things. And so just wanted to make sure you could pay attention to that part and know in the end which way they do go. For this, it's a different screw. It's this set here with the motor coupling. It's got 4 screws in it. Okay, so it looks like this fits right on here, this motor coupling. Nope. It's a very tight fit on there. There we go. Give a little extra pressure. Helped to put it on the table. That did help. It's pretty tight fit on there. You just gotta kind of push hard once you get it lined up. There we go. All 4 of those on. And we just, oh yes, the wheel will fit in that as well. Let's see if that's this type of a fit, or we just have to line it. Oh, that's nice and easy to put on. Don't have to worry about that, just have to line it up. And looks like that's gonna screw right into the motor. There we go. You don't want to over tighten that. There we go. Next piece is the line tracking sensors. Okay. Again, we need the spacer. And it looks like it's going to go in these holes on the side. And this. So we put the screw up through the bottom. Again, this is the silver screws. Through the spacer. Then through the bracket, and then a nut on top. Okay, now we're gonna put these together here. And you notice that these are facing forward here on this. And we're gonna put this bracket. Let's see, it looks like in this second hole. We've got some spacers, and this is going to use the black screws. We want to make sure that these are out here, these line followers, that the prongs are in the middle. And we'll do the next one here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Try to get those as parallel as we can there. Okay, now we flip the whole thing over, and that's what I was missing. All right, and we're back to here where we're gonna put the case on. Got the smile, we've got our sensors pointing down. And, oh, we need our spacers in here, which they will screw in on this side. There we go. Remember, this is the shorter ones we're putting in here. All right, now let's put this on here. And it looks like this will go right into this hole with the mark. I like that they put the hexagon around it so that you can tell that that's where the hexagonal shape spacer goes. Okay, get that lined up just right. There we go. Okay, so we've got that part ready. Next we take, it says to put the next IR proximity sensor in the upper shell. So we got one sensor left here. And let's see, it looks like it's this way. Here, we need a spacer. And it looks like we're gonna put it in here with one of the metal screws, spacer, and then a nut. And again, we'll use the little wrench to tighten that up. Okay, there's that one. Now, it looks like we have to connect everything up, which don't worry too much about here. It looks like it's going to explain it here. This kind of gives all the information of what all the different things are here Looks like it is kind of turned this way in the picture here, if you look at it. So we've got these are open for Raspberry Pi if you should connect them. Servo interface. That is the Bluetooth module, or looks like it can be changed, but anyway. Motor driver, for the motors. Oh, and I noticed too, these are labeled port 3, port 4. So that's helpful to know where those are going to go. High power DC supply. The power switch here. High power outputs here. And a USB plug. All right, so let's see how we're going to hook this up. Okay, so this is a blown up picture of this area. It would be nice, I suppose, if we could see those letters a little better on the board itself. They're a little crowded, but what do? It's a board. That tends to be the case, that it's usually pretty tight. So just know that 6 is the start of this section here. It goes 6 through 15. This end here, it's a little easier to see that it says A15 right next to it. It's tiny, but it's there. Over here, it's pretty crowded with these other jumpers here. So, all right, so we need to get out our wires. And again, this is a little bit more advanced than the original mBot. It does say here, if you connect these up incorrectly, it could damage it, so you have to be kind of careful. Okay, so we're going to start out with one of these IR proximity sensors. And what we'll do is we just pull off 3 of these from our wiring here. And we're just going to connect it up. So it looks like we're putting black on the ground, and you'll see it says ground right there. And you just have to keep track of which color is going over to the pins on the board. So here we've got black ground. So on here it shows ground is black here. So then we want to plug it into the black over here as well. And shows this first proximity sensor is the first row here. See, it's labeled IR proximity sensor 1 is the first row, A6. So we're going to put the black on the black there. And then the red here is middle, and our middle color, my middle color is white. So I'm going to put the white onto the red. And then the light gray I've got on the in. And it shows here that that's going to be your yellow. The other thing to notice here is this does say VCC, whereas in here it says 5 volt. That's the same thing. So that'll help. Okay. Then we'll do the next is the other sensor. We'll pull off 3 more. And over here, we're gonna make ground purple. So we wire up the 3 over here. And our purple is ground, so we put that on the black on the second row. And then we just go along. Blue becomes the red, which is our VCC. And the yellow goes to our green wire, which goes to the in on the sensor. And pull off the next three. We've got brown, red, and orange. Put it on the cover. That's right here. So, and that is going to go on here eventually, but obviously not quite yet. So I might just hold on that one for now. Go ahead and put it in here. We'll make the brown be ground. And red and then orange, okay. Since ground tends to usually be black, I always just pick the darkest of the three colors to be my ground. Or like in this case, we've got red, orange, yellow. Red's usually, you know, your positive, and so it's definitely not ground. So I might just, so I'll pick the yellow to be the ground there. Although maybe you should yellow, whatever. You can choose. Okay, getting those in there. They're tight to get in there, but they do fit quite nicely. I think it's fine. I mean, it's how you normally would do it. So again, this is a little more advanced than the mBot, so you're taking a step more towards the real world of how you would do actual prototyping and things. So, all right, so this one is the fourth row over, a 9, which is going to be our line tracking sensor 1. We want to go down through here, I think, through this hole to get to our line sensors. There we go. Again, I had put yellow on ground, so looking on our sensor, if you look at the picture here, it's from the bottom. Straighten that out. Just want to check on that. You can see through the little hole here if you look through, and just to make sure we're getting the right one into ground and things. Oh yes, they're labeled G, V, and I don't know, S or something. I don't know. I suppose S for signal. I'm not sure, but anyway, looks like the ground is on this side over here, so I'm going to put it like this. There we go. There. 1, 2, 3. And while I'm under here, I think I'll go ahead do the next one. I'm going to make my brown the ground on this one. All right. There we go. And push this up through. Again, I said I made the ground brown on this one, so we're going to put that on the black. And then look at the positive and the signal. Okay, there we go. And so next, there's that would be our 2-line tracking sensors. Next is the impact switches. Okay, we're gonna make the blue ground on these, on this set. Okay, and so our impact switches are back here. So I think we'll again go through this same hole here to get down there. It's always the trouble with working with the board is always, seems like there's always a lot of wires everywhere. So if we can keep those a little bit under control, that's helpful. All right, on this one, it's labeled again. We've got ground on the left there. So we'll put blue on the ground. And then just connect them up in line. All right. There we go. That seems to be a little loose, so I'm gonna tighten that up. Wrench go here. Probably should have used a wrench on all of these to begin with, but I guess I was being a little lazy on it. Yep. All right. And let's hook up the other one right away. Orange, yellow, green. Guess we'll do green on ground. There we go. And we're going to stick that through the same hole up here to get to the board. Cut on the motors. There we go. And might have been a little easier to do the board first on this one. It said green was ground, so I'll put that on black up here and follow just in line. Okay. So there's our impact switches. Next is our RGB LEDs. And we're going to put black on this one. And there we go. And then let's see, we're going to connect those down below again, and so we need to tighten this up first. There we go. All right, so I'm going to push this through here again. And the black goes to ground. Lots to be learned here, I will say. It is more advanced, so it's going to be a little trickier, I think, for kids to pick this up, but at the same time, I think it's really a really good next step. They can learn about, you know, how these boards are labeled, how the sensors are labeled and things, and how it's really connected up rather than just the plug and play like the mBot, the original mBot, which is perfect for a beginner. So do 3 more for the other RGB. I think I like doing it on the board first, so I'm going to do that up here. We'll put the blue on ground for this one. And it looks like we have room for one more sensor up here that they leave open for you. And of course you can always take one out and put something different in too, if you want to experiment with other sensors and things, which I will say I can see it'll be a lot easier to do that with these. You don't necessarily have to buy the custom modules, and so you can pick up whatever sensors and things that you want to try and easily plug them in to the board. So that I'm really excited about that possibility here. Put the blue on the ground. There we go. All right. So there's that piece. That's how those sensors are all connected in now. And with the exception of the one on the top plate here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and plug in the motors next. Yeah, it doesn't show putting the upper shell on until after everything's wired up. So we're gonna go ahead and next do the motors. Okay, so you know it's not going to hurt anything if you swap these around and that type of thing. That's not going to hurt the board at all. It's more when you start moving wires in the wrong place, you know, between ground and your positive or things like that. This seems to be a little loose here, so again I cut corners and shouldn't have. So okay, there is that. And that one's loose too. Okay, those are tighter on there. Let's see, and we've got these all in the right way. Moving on to the motors. Okay, so if we turn it upside down, and we can tell using the sensors which way they've got it. I will say I've, you know, in the past had some issues with, you know, ended up with my motors plugged in the wrong way, and it just, you know, makes them go the wrong direction and things when you're trying to move the whole robot. So that's an easy thing again to fix afterwards. And so not a huge deal if they have to replug them and things like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. 1A is this one here, this motor here. So we're gonna grab the plug for that one. Is here, and up here, let's see, we wanna go out this hole for all 4 of these really, but we'll do one at a time so that we can be sure which one we have. This is the 1A, it says, and that one, it looks like, goes all the way over to the right. I do like that these already have the plugs on them. That's kind of nice. Don't have to worry about tightening those, putting those wires in. That does not have a slot in it. Interesting. Well, let's just try pushing it in once and see what. Oh, I see that goes on top. Okay. There we go. Let you kind of see that, how that orange slot goes just on top of the green there. Just slides right in and holds it tight. All right, let's go back over. And 1B would be on this same side. My wires go for that one. They're here. And we're going to push that through. And it goes next in line, just plugs nicely in there. Pretty easy plug there. Then comes the next one. That's a little loose there. We'll do 2A, which is this back one. Push that one through. And plug it in. And then 2B, our last one here. I'm gonna plug that one in right there. So there you've got it. And you can see also that there is room to put some more motor drivers and some more motors if you want to extend things later on. So that's kind of exciting. Okay, so finally we're gonna put this on top. And let's see, we wanna get this going the right way. Our impact switches are in the back and our smile is in the front. And then we're going to see about putting this on here. And we've got, remember we saved this for last. We got the purple is our ground. So, and you can see I'm not always consistent on that because I didn't make green ground. Sometimes I make green ground. I don't know. That's all right. As long as we can tell on the board which was which. We know that the ground is always on this end here. This was the black. And so you can kind of see where they're coming from. Get it on there right. All right, there we go. See if we can put this on here. Sometimes I like to wrap the wire a little around these posts. It kind of helps contain them a little bit. I think I'll do that. This one's not, doesn't really need it. So just on that side. Make sure to push the wire under there. And looks like we're going to put some more of these black screws. They go down into the post. There we go. Here. Wow, it's looking like the robot. Pretty exciting. Curious to see how these IR sensors end up working for sensing things in front of it. I see that they have them kind of staggered here, and that I assume helps with sensing things. So that'll be interesting. Last is our battery box here. Looks like we connected on here to this little bracket. With some more of these little black screws. Oh, nope, come from the top. Okay, and let's see where this is going to go. Ah, it's slides in here. And that's what this little slot is for, to be able to slide these screws under here. And so we just slide that in. So we'll go ahead and put our batteries in there first. I'm gonna grab some batteries. Six batteries in all there. I'm gonna slide this through here. I have to pull some of the wires out of the way. There we go. Kind of like how that slides in there actually. There we go. And then we use another black screw. Anytime you're going into the frame where it's actually got a screw into the frame, we use these black screws. Okay, we've got that in there, in place. So, I think we are ready. It has been assembled. Congratulations, mBot Mega has been assembled. So we are ready to give this a try, I think. That'll be in the next video.